Good evening and welcome back to another episode of The Longing. Today we're going to be continuing to read the Iliad by Homer. So, let's get going. Dreadful he spoke, then tossed the head on high. The Trojans hear, they tremble and they fly. Aghast they gaze around the fleet and wall, and dread the ruin that impends on all. Daughters of Jove that on Olympus shine, ye all beholding, all recording nine. O say, when Neptune made proud Ilion yield, what chief, what hero first embrued the field? Of all the Grecians what immortal name, and whose blessed trophies will ye raise to fame? Thou first, great Ajax, on the unsanguined plain, laid Hyrtius, leader of the Mysian train. Phalces and Mermer, Nestor's son o'erthrew, bold Merion, Mores, and Hippotion slew. Strong Periphates and Prothune bled, by Teucer's arrows mingled with the dead. Pierced in the flank by Menelaus' steel, his people's pastor, Hyperenor, fell. Eternal darkness wrapped the warrior round, and the fierce soul came rushing through the wound. But stretched in heaps before Oileus' son, fall mighty numbers run. Ajax the less of all the Grecian race, skilled in pursuit and swiftest in the chase. Bacchus. Book 15. Argument. The fifth battle at the ships and the acts of Ajax. Jupiter awaking sees the Trojans repulsed from the trenches, Hector in a swoon, and Neptune at the head of the Greeks. He is highly incensed at the artifice of Juno, who appeases him by her submissions. She is then sent to Iris and Apollo. Juno, repairing to the assembly of the gods, attempts with extraordinary address to incense them against Jupiter. In particular, she touches Mars with a violent resentment. He is ready to take arms, but is prevented by Minerva. Iris and Apollo obey the orders of Jupiter. Iris commands Neptune to leave the battle, to which, after much reluctance and passion, he consents. Apollo re-inspires Hector with vigour, brings him back to the battle, marches before him with his aegis, and turns the fortune of the fight. He breaks down great part of the Grecian wall. The Trojans rush in and attempt to fire the first line of the fleet, but are as yet repelled by the greater Ajax with a prodigious slaughter. Now in swift flight they pass the trench profound, and many a chief lay gasping on the ground. Then stopped and panted where the chariots lie, fear on their cheek and horror in their eye. Meanwhile, awakened from his dream of love, on Ida's summit sat imperial Jove. Round the wide fields he cast a careful view. There saw the Trojans fly, the Greeks pursue. These proud in arms, those scattered o'er the plain, and midst the war the monarch of the main. Not far great Hector on the dust he spies, his sad associates round with weeping eyes. Ejecting blood and panting yet for breath, his senses wandering to the verge of death. The god beheld him with a pitying look, and thus incensed to fraudful Juno spoke. O thou, still adverse to the eternal will, for ever studious in promoting ill, thy arts have made the godlike Hector yield, and driven his conquering squadrons from the field. Canst thou, unhappy in thy wiles, withstand our power immense and brave the almighty hand? Hast thou forgot, when bound and fixed on high, from the vast concave of the spangled sky, I hung thee trembling in a golden chain, and all the raging gods opposed in vain? Headlong I hurled them from the Olympian hall, stunned in the whirl, and breathless with the fall. For godlike Hercules these deeds were done, nor seemed the vengeance worthy such a son. When by thy wiles induced for fierce, Boreas tossed the When by thy wiles induced, fierce Boreas tossed the shipwrecked hero on the Coan coast. Him through 1,000 forms of death I bore, and sent to Argos and his native shore. Hear this, remember, and our fury dread, nor pull the unwilling vengeance on thy head. Lest arts and blandishments successless prove thy soft deceits and well dissembled love. The Thunderer spoke, imperial Juno mourned, and trembling these submissive words returned. By every oath that powers immortal ties, the foodful earth and all enfolding skies, by thy black waves tremendous Styx that flow through the drear realms of gliding ghosts below, by the dread honours of thy sacred head, and that unbroken vow, our virgin bed. Not by my arts the ruler of the main steeps Troy in blood and ranges round the plain. By his own ardour, his own pity swayed, to help his Greeks he fought and disobeyed. Else had thy Juno better counsels given, and taught submission to the Sire of heaven. Think'st thou with me, fair Empress of the skies? The immortal Father with a smile replies. Then soon the haughty sea-god shall obey, nor dare to act but when we point the way. If truth inspires thy tongue, proclaim our will to yon bright synod on the Olympian hill. Our high decree let various Iris know, and call the god that bears the silver bow. Let her descend, and from the embattled plain command the sea-god to his watery reign, while Phoebus hastes great Hector to prepare to rise afresh and once more wake the war. His labouring bosom re-inspires with breath, and calls his senses from the verge of death. Greece, chased by Troy even to Achilles' fleet, shall fall by thousands at the hero's feet. He, not untouched with pity to the plain, shall send Patroclus, but shall send in vain. What youths he slaughters under Ilion's walls, even my loved son, divine Sarpedon, falls. Vanquished at last by Hector's lance he lies, then nor till then shall great Achilles rise. And lo, that instant godlike Hector dies. From that great hour the war's whole fortune turns. Pallas assists, and lofty Ilion burns. Not till that day shall Jove relax his rage, nor one of all heavenly host engage. In aid of Greece the promise of a god I gave, and sealed it with the almighty nod. Achilles' glory to the stars to raise. Such was our word, and fate the word obeys. Sorry, I got a little confused in that bit. The trembling queen, the almighty order given, swift from the Idaean summit shot to heaven. As some wayfaring man who wanders o'er, in thought a length of lands he trod before, sends forth his active mind from place to place, joins hill to dale, and measures space with space. So swift flew Juno to the blessed abodes, if thought of man can match the speed of gods. There sat the powers in awful synod placed. They bowed and made obeisance as she passed. Through all the brazen dome with goblets crowned, 239, they hail her queen, the nectar streams around. Fair Themis first presents the golden bowl, and anxious asks what cares disturb her soul. And with that, we actually come quite nicely to the end of the episode. So, I will say thank you very much for joining today. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, or night, No matter what time of day it is, I hope you all have a wonderful one of it. And as always, we will be back tomorrow for more of The Longing. Goodbye.